SCC Compañeros program was created out of a desire to coordinate something that we as faculty do all the time. We're always sharing our ideas with each other, what we're doing in our classrooms. We ask each other, what other people are doing. We ask for feedback on things that we're trying or we're thinking of trying. So whether we do that in a more formal way, like in a professional learning community like the SESI PLC, or in a more informal way, like around the proverbial copy machine, we wanted to sort of design a program that would help us coordinate that dialogue and reflection and capture what we learned from it in order to share it with others. To create the tool that we're using for the program, we looked at things that were already in existence, things that we already knew about, and things that we've already been using, whether in the SESI PLC or other places around the campus. But what we did was we took what we felt were the best parts of those tools, and we worked with Dr. Diane Kino Rodriguez from the RP group to help us come up with something, develop a tool and a process that is special to Sac City and that we hope will be successful in guiding and capturing that kind of dialogue and reflection. This semester, we're piloting the program with the SESI PLC. So the first stage of the program has already been underway, which is professional development around best pedagogy practices.
And a program like this is beneficial because there's that chance of having someone else, in my case, it's someone in a completely different department, take a look, see how you're doing, and give you some feedback on that. Now the challenge is that same situation. There's a stranger, effectively, who is coming into your classroom. This is someone, in my case, it's someone that I don't know. And I was thinking about that. That's fair because that's the same situation when my students walk into my classroom on the first day. If we want to engage in discussion, there has to be trust to get into those really deep, honest discussions. So you don't want to be too familiar with the person, but at the same time, very quickly, there's going to have to be trust established that there can be honest conversations going on.
It's an opportunity for us to sort of have another faculty member, a fresh set of eyes, especially in this super isolated world that we're living in right now, where we're all kind of living in our own bubbles and operating our own classes. It's nice to have another faculty member who can come in and give a fresh perspective on what we've created. Being equitable in our practices right now is a challenge. And so I'll be very curious to see what my faculty mentor, her name's Carrie, what Carrie has to say about my course and any feedback that she has in that regard.
After the faculty participant has decided what element or aspect of their course that the lead will look at, they will also choose one primary area relevant to the student experience that will shape the feedback that they get from their lead. Those three areas are my interactions with students, student engagement and collaboration, or practices that increase or enhance student sense of belongingness. After that initial meeting, the lead compañero is then added to the faculty participants' Canvas shell, or if it's a synchronous live session that they're taking a look at, they're invited to attend that. And the lead takes notes, generates questions, makes some observations, and then a follow-up meeting is had between the two compañeros in which the lead shares that feedback, shares what he or she noticed, asks questions to guide some self-reflection, and ultimately together come up with some kind of strategy or revision or tweak to implement in that area moving forward. The final stage then is for all participants in the program to meet together for a debriefing, to kind of go over some general observations that were made, and to brainstorm together on best practices moving forward and ways to measure those in the future.
And so I was supposed to just be giving feedback, but I definitely also learned a lot myself as a teacher from it. One of the things, I think all the online education is really new for a lot of us. And so it was really fun for me to just see how different people were approaching that, and to see, some of the tools that they're using, some of the ways that they're connecting with their students. Really hard to be vulnerable and let somebody into your classroom. That's something that, we all want to do well in our teaching. We all want to do a good job, but we also know that we're going to fall short sometimes. And so to have someone come in and observe and point out some things that aren't working as well, you know, can be uncomfortable. And so I think for me, that was a challenge, was thinking about how am I going to approach people, you know, particularly the ones I don't really have a relationship with in advance. I'm meeting them for the first time and I'm just going to, you know, walk in and look at what they're doing.
The value, I can't stress the value of having someone totally outside. I went into English and ethics courses. I mean, I have no clue about philosophy and ethics, right? And seeing this material, I think just the program is just so useful.
There is an element of vulnerability in letting someone else go into your course with an eye for constructive criticism. And so I grew in the sense that you do have to let down your guard a little bit and let your ego go. And so there was a growth in that, in just being open to getting poked and prodded and criticized in good ways.
It really helped a lot with not just the students, the professor as well, giving feedback to all the experience that you probably can get in the classroom or sometimes in the online classroom. And the PLC helped the professors to get a little bit of feedback on their way to teach, or sometimes with the students to get a little bit more, like, you know, that second opinion and get more context of the class sometimes, or more context of the environment or what is happening in the classroom.
We didn't know what to expect. We knew that there was going to be a lot of light bulb moments. We knew that there was going to be some, you know, things that, you know, we weren't sure about, you know, and so that all that very, you know, clearly needed for us to be vulnerable. Needed for us to be vulnerable with each other and trust each other. And so I just want to say gracias. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for trusting each other. And thank you for doing this for ultimately for our students, right? Because ultimately that's what we're here to serve.